Hi, everyone. My name is Zach.
And I'm Zane, and welcome to the AZ podcast. You'll notice again, there's no A, but only Z's.
That's fine.
It's
Z's are
fine.
better.
Z's are better. Adam's gone, but Zach
He
is
is
here.
missed. He is missed though.
He is missed. There's that black box over there, and we wish he had Adam there. You know?
That's where he would be.
Yes. Instead, you have all bunch of information and sweet text and images.
Yes.
Because, gotta talk
Needed.
about things. You need it. You need it. You need it. So today we're talking about the most recent things that are happening in Standard. That is GPNJ and the ban announcement from March 13th, 2017.
Yep.
How was your GPNJ?
Huh.
How was
So,
your Pro Tour?
so I wanted to call it my first PT since I played against six well-named pros between the 2 days. I ended up going 10-5, getting a pro point. I think a couple of my losses came to being kind of on the wrong side of variance, right?
Yeah.
I was playing four colors to Healy. I whiffed on Oath six times. Just could never punish my opponents. I mean, I lost to Owen Turwell, who just he was on Mardu and just completely had the Mardu draw and drew three Gideons game two. He got to the point where he was like, "I'm sorry, like it was
I'm
that bad."
sorry.
And then Jolo said I played and got a little flooded. Sam Black didn't play Magic. I mulled a five, and Yuya and BBD they got the four color mirror work. But I mean, otherwise it was a cool experience. I did get to play against some of the best in the game. I learned a lot and really enjoyed myself. It was a good time.
Yeah, yeah. I had a great time too. I did get the pleasure of playing a few control mirrors, which I had never done in my life before.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. I actually won most of the control mirrors, and I just lost most of my other matches to Marty Vehicles because I was just playing Sultai pile of cards that I don't own. So
Pile that I bar.
pile that I borrowed, but it was sweet. Like it was a very good experience. It was my first 7-2 on a day one, which was awesome, and I don't know. I mean, GPs are always fun, right?
Yeah, I enjoy GPs. They're good.
They're always better when you do well, but they're still fun even when you do badly. You get to hang out with cool people and
Just
meet new
you
people,
meet a lot
network.
of meet a lot of players and grinders and pros and just talk.
Exactly, exactly. So that was, I mean, like, what decks did we see at GPMY?
I know I
NJ. I
saw.
always said NY because it was in the same location as last year, but
Yeah, yeah. So I know I played the mirror I think six times, Mordu four times,
Mhm.
green black three times. I played against one Abzan Marvel deck. It was pretty much green black, splashing white for cancel since they probably can't beat the combo.
oh, interesting.
They still can't beat the combo, confirmed. Um, I think I was like pretty much I saw like a stock list. I played against Tower once.
Okay, yeah. I played against Tower. I played against a lot of Marta vehicles. I was looking back at my matches, and I actually day one I played against five Marta vehicles opponents.
Nice.
And I didn't actually play against that much for Colors of Healy. I played against like three over 15 rounds, which is still a decent amount, but like not as many as some other people. I played against a lot of Marta vehicles, and I got trounced by a lot of Gideons. So I know.
Sad face.
Gideon is a good planeswalker.
One of the best I've heard.
I've heard it's the best.
It's up there, top three.
Top three of
I
all
think
time.
it's safe to say it's top in the top three range.
Right, of course. So we saw that this was the last GP before the ban announcement on the 13th. And well, what did we see from the ban announcement?
Absolutely nothing, which brought great joy to me.
Yeah.
Being a four color player, I was so scared of my cats leaving me. But Gideon could go. I'm fine with that. But cats, I wanted them to stay,
No one
and
left.
luckily they did.
No one
No,
left.
nope, they weren't in the time to leave yet.
Not time to leave. Did you read the article that was with the no ban announcement? Or
Vaguely, I was at work when I got all the hype, and then after I got the hype, I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm fine now. But I did see some stuff. Like I think they were saying they're pushing more stuff later on, right?
hmm yeah.
To make the combo not as viable.
Right. So a lot of the article was talking about or I guess the write up of their reasoning was that they saw some tower decks doing well.
Okay, yeah, that's
There
what it
was a
was.
tower deck top 8, and tower is like the fourth deck that can kind of hold its own. And so having that fourth deck that can kind of hold its own makes it so that they consider that the format is diverse enough. And what is like, I mean, obviously, with standard, there's always going to be those top few decks, but
Yeah.
having at least 4 top decks is usually a nice number.
I think there's always like in all fairness, in every format there's three like top
Yes,
like tier one deck, and then you have like kind of like the 1.52 fringe decks, which I believe Tower is part of.
right,
They're like that do fine. They hold their own against like one maybe two of the matchups
right,
and
right,
like that, and that's fine. Like, you like obviously you're not gonna have one deck that just beats everything because then that deserves a ban because it's just unfair.
right.
But
I think standard with is a format of top 3 decks, and
yeah,
I think for a week or two we didn't see that, and we just saw 2 top decks, and so there was some concern. But I think black green can kind of hold its own as a top 3 deck. Like I don't know.
I mean it just has one of those draws that you can't beat it sometimes,
Yeah.
and it has just enough hate to not lose to the combo outright.
Hmm.
And it could hold its own against Mardu. Like it could be tough, but
Right.
they do have like access to green, obviously for the green black that
Yeah.
has a lot of artifact hate that can hold its own against Mardu as well.
Yeah. So do you think it's a healthy current format?
So like I think it's healthy, and a lot of people I know on Facebook personally argue that, but the way I see it is like you can't find one deck that has the same 75, right? Like
Right.
like, and it's not even like we're talking about one or two flex spots. Like some of these Saheeli decks have 15 different cards in there because some of them
Right.
have the marble package.
Hmm.
I played a vehicle package in my sideboard. Just like everything's different, and I think that's what makes it not as unhealthy as people make it seem.
Yeah, I feel like with the diversity of cards, not only with the sideboards, because you'll see in formats that are dominated by one top deck, you'll see there's very different opinions on sideboards.
Right.
For instance, let's think of Eldrazi Winter. When all the Eldrazi decks are very good, there are a lot of variants of the Eldrazi deck, but that was literally the only deck.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really changed was the sideboard slash like 2 spots in the main, which were color considerations. And like, but you had your core that was just so strong it could not be beaten. These Saheeli decks can change up to 20 cards in their main deck, right?
Yeah.
Like 15 to 20 cards in their main deck, where like it's just a different play style. Like, let's look at your deck versus someone's like Elise.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Perfect.
Yeah,
Like I know Ely has like Marvels in the main or had Marvels in the main, and then boards into this big Ulamog full-on Marvel deck with Nissa's Renewals.
right.
And I have Deep Fiends in my main deck with and Baval's Expertise that has a complete vehicle package in the board and more of a control board, and I don't actually try to combo ever post board.
Right, you're just playing an entirely different game than he was.
I'm pretty much playing like a Planeswalker control deck post board.
Right, right. And then you'll see the same thing with Mardu. You know, some people have that Planeswalker control package in the sideboard, and then some people don't.
Yeah, like the 6 Oath plan post board, right?
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
Oath of Liliana and Chandra, and then 4 more Planeswalkers because they already have 6 main.
And then you'll see the other versions of Mardu that don't have that and only have the 4 main
Yeah,
and are very aggro. Now with Mardu, there's less variation in the main deck because it's more streamlined aggro deck,
right.
but they have very different sideboard plans. And when you see, look at like green black, for instance, there's tons of variation with green black.
Energy, aggro,
Yeah.
control. Like when I control like the more mid range, then you have Delirium. Then it's just like
Go
you really
big.
could have 5 versions of it that you could just play.
Right. Now, do you think there's any decks that are going to pop up that that just haven't been found yet? Like no one has like gotten the right recipe.
I think. I mean, I know I'm a big fan of this color scheme, but I think like Esper could be fine,
Okay.
right? Like I think control decks generally have a good matchup against the Saheeli deck because they're able to kill what they care about. For example, the Rogue Refiners and the Whirlers, counter the Planeswalker, and then eventually just grind them out with like Torrential Greyhawk. And Torrential Greyhawk is a relatively hard card for the
Yeah.
Saheeli deck to play against. And I think that's fine. And you just have to make sure you could tweak your multi matchup. And if you could do that, like you're already good against Green Black because you have Fumigates in your deck, and Green Black has a hard time dealing with Fumigate.
Yeah, Fumigate's good. Also, Heaney's expertise is surprisingly good.
Yep.
And
think
you
that's
also
really
have
fun.
like if you resolve a planeswalker against a foreclosed healer deck, they have a difficult time, like a Sorin, for instance.
I guess it depends right on their board. If they have a whirl
Right.
out, then it's fine. But if you're
Sure.
able to kill the whirler, untap, and play a sword, and they just have like a Rogue Finder out,
Hmm.
yeah, like, and as long as like you like, obviously you have to pick and choose when you do that because if you just tap out 6 mana, then you could potentially be dead.
Right.
But
Right.
you just gotta know like, yeah, someone untap and you don't like can't get comboed, you win that game most of the time.
Hmm. I think Sorin's very powerful. Has like it's one of.
I mean, I know
Um,
some Saheeli decks were playing one on the board.
yeah, that was a cool plan I saw a few times. Which is to like that one of Sorin and just to just ping that last 5 damage you needed, activate your shot with his Chandra again, and it
I
was
think some of them even had Oath of Liliana on their board too.
yeah. Man, the variation was very, very high. And I mean, the tower deck is kind of there. And so
Yeah,
is Marvel. Like, they're both, like, lurking.
those are like the 1.5s that's in the format that
Yeah,
like they could
yeah.
definitely win games and win a tournament, but I don't know how consistently it's going to be on the top tables.
Now, I did play against, Bryant Cook was on a Grixis tower deck, which I liked a
Okay.
lot. I thought it had a lot more power than the teamer version.
Yeah, I think that's just the case, right? Because they have cards that actually say destroy target creature instead of trying to
Yes.
burn them out, which is like a huge difference.
Yeah, Fatal Push,
A
Unlicensed
license.
Disintegration. They have it faster. They just like have more damage, incidental damage. With Unlicensed Disintegration, and they just it was very very interesting to see that. Painful Truth was very very strong in
Yeah.
the control mirror. I mean, my jank deck, they needed Painful Truths against. So
I mean, draw three, no matter what you're doing with it, is probably good, unless you have three life.
true, true. Yeah, unless you're at 3 life and you're gonna die, then drawing three is for 3 life is very good, as we see in Legacy. So,
Yeah.
but so will you be playing this format a lot over the next, week, month?
I guess up until the new rotation, yeah. I mean, like I said, I personally love the four color deck. I think every game's a puzzle because you don't
Okay.
like obviously you do have those drawers where you're like, okay, well I have the turn four combo. Let's see if they interact with me. But then you have like the games where like with when it comes to your energy, how you use whirlers, how you attack, what you blink with Felidar. I think like every
Right.
game could be different though. At least the post board. Like the game ones are always kind of like, I'm gonna try to combo you as fast as possible, and then games two and three become such a grind and like I said, just like everything, like I said, everything's different. That's why I love these type of decks.
Right. I think I only have one event, maybe before the next set. I'm not even
Okay.
sure. Is there one event? There might-
I don't even know to be honest. I know for standard wise, I don't know. I know I'm going to the legacy one, but that doesn't
Right.
really matter.
Right. I think there might be one standard event that's like a big event that
Yeah.
they were going to before the next one, but like, so for the most part, it doesn't even really impact. Like, I don't know if you play standard on a daily basis, but
I mean, I play
I
a lot of Moto, but that's about it.
I kind of stay away from standard, even on Moto. Just I don't know.
Shame.
Sometimes it's just like when I really like it, I'll play it, but
That's why I really like it, right?
I just really like modern, man. Modern's great.
You and your bots.
Glint Nest Crane is the new tech.
Panza.
I do like Ponza as well. Ponza's pretty strong.
Bogles.
So, what do you think about standard going forward over the next month? So, we're going to see the next set come out in a month, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to see a new BNR announcement, ban restricted announcement, because now they are doing ban and restricted announcements. For those that are not aware, at the release of every set, and also midway between each set.
5 weeks, right?
Yes,
That's what it
5
said.
weeks. Yeah.
I think when it comes to a new set, they're gonna obviously it's gonna be Grixis base, or you're gonna see a lot more Grixis color themes again. I think because it's supposed to be based off Nicol Bolas, right? He's the face of the set.
Right.
I think you're gonna see a lot more control decks. You're gonna see maybe like more actual removal spells, which
Mm-hmm.
is good. Like I mean, obviously we do have some good ones with like murder and
Maybe like
grasp,
your
but like
ultimate prices
but
or
like we
your.
we may actually get like a Doomblade effect, like
Mhm.
2 mana destroy creature with like a minor stipulation. I think we'll also we're probably gonna see some just a new control cards in general, which also will help against the combo.
Some new planeswalkers as always, which is always exciting
Yeah,
to see
I mean
where the
we're gonna see a new
planeswalkers
Nicol
go.
Bolas
Nicol
probably.
Bolas. I mean, is he going to be tiny? Is he going to be big? And we're going to be doing some episodes on that in the next upcoming weeks about our, as spoilers come out and as we talk about that. It's going to be exciting times, as always, when new cards are released. Yeah, so I think that Control is going to definitely get a kick up. I think that you look at like the Grixis Tower decks, and you see that they're so integral. The integral part of it is energy based, but if you just get good spells to go with those those towers, you can just get a better deck. And you'll see more control in that avenue, because I know at least a voiced opinion from some people that I know and interact with have said that for a card that comes in the new set to impact the current format, it needs to be a very high power level because of how high the synergies are with energy base.
Yeah.
Now, if we see something that works well with what's currently there, like for instance the Dynavolt Tower decks, if you get a better spell, that's
could you get a cantrip? That's all I want. I want a good cantrip.
Like a cantrip, even a 2-mana one. Come on.
It could be a 3-mana. It could be divination. I'll be happy with divination.
Yeah, like any cantrip for that deck would be great.
Yeah.
Great. Like right now, there's Painful Truths, right? So,
that's not really a cantrip. I mean, like I want like a 1 or 2-mana thing that replaces itself, like a Thought Scour. Like that's fine.
Anticipate, but like another one because you only have like one of right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually very good that we won't see a rotation. Because I think the rotation it would just impact the format a lot. Yeah. But I think I like the larger pool of cards better.
Larger pool is always good because there's more diversity. You get access to more diversity, right? The smaller the pool is, the less you have to play with it. Mm-hmm. So like if it's 2 sets, that's all you have, right? Like you're literally just playing a block standard there. Right. So like 7 to 8 sets we have. Obviously, you could you may not see it because there's so many cards to play around. So maybe your opponent or like some pro just like finds like a cool interaction that is overlooked because there's so many cards.
Definitely, and it impacts internal formats as well. So that's always exciting. But but I think standard is the one that's for some people is the most stale. At least some people think.
Well, because it just stays around the longest, right? No matter what. So like it's going to be 4 colors of Helium Mardu for a long time. Yeah. So it's no really change, right? But like, I don't know, as we're talking about the whole stale topic, I have a lot of friends that say there's in every standard format, there's always a deck that no one likes, right? Like
mono black, mono blue.
Blue-White Delver, Kessig Wolfrun, Jund, right? You had Rev Control, then you have Fairies, Infinity, all these decks that just no one wanted to play against because it got boring. Yeah. So
there's always those decks. People always find something they complain about,
especially in standard. It's just because it's around, standard. Yeah, because around for so long. That's what it is.
And there's not the diversity that there is in modern because that's just not how it is. It's not the type of format it is. I mean, you look at modern. There's those, I mean, what do you think about the no bans or anything in modern? Do you think that's healthy? Do you think that's good?
I was not surprised about anything being banned. I was more surprised about nothing being unbanned. Okay. I don't think I know I'm going to be probably yelled at about this, but Jace, right? I know a lot of people this is the biggest debate going on, right?
Right.
There's a lot of things where Jace is just not good against, and that may push, if Jace does come in, push more of a control deck, which Modern doesn't have, right?
It doesn't have a real control deck.
I mean, I guess the closest one is Grixis Control, but they still could play a turn 2, 4/5, 5/5, and just kill you that way, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Jace may, as powerful as it is, I think people don't want to unban because of. Obviously, I'm not saying that he's not good, but just the threat of him being too good, and because they know how he is, right?
And it's a brainstorm effect with fetches, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, but he just gets bolted, and that's it.
I'm just saying it slows. It just people don't like that gameplay.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, there's so many answers to it, and you could just be dead by turn 4 anyways. When you you just tap out, cast it, you unsummon a creature, and then you still
you can't play 4 of those.
Right. I mean, you probably will play 4, but you're not happy about it, right? And you're just gonna lose.
Half the time you draw, you're like, "Oh, this is real bad."
Right. I wish I had force of will.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. He's good to start with, bad to draw, or it can be good to draw in certain circumstances, but.
Well, Tron would never care about a Jace.
Yeah. No. Affinity wouldn't care about a Jace.
Baron doesn't care about Jace.
No. There's a lot of decks that don't care about Jace.
I'm pretty sure the only deck that would care about Jace is Jund. But even then, is not.
Or the Control Mirror, or a fair grindy deck.
Right, but Modern's not really about fairness right now.
No, I mean, you see some fair decks emerge in the top of your Dallas Fort Worth, but overall, most of the modern is not fair. Death
No.
Shadow Aggro is one of the top decks right now. That
I
deck,
think it is a top deck.
it is a top deck, yeah, sure. It's not that's not fair.
No.
It's
It doesn't beat
more
Value
it's
Town,
more
but-
fair than Death Shadows has been in the past.
Well, I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, I think this is almost unfair because they have to play better cards around it and not just play probes because it pays 2 life. Like, in all fairness, right? Like, now they just have
it doesn't
to.
kill as fast, but it's more powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
So-
you get Goyfs. You get to play Traverse, which is I love it.
You play Delvin, you play the Grixis version.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have like Snapcasters for control value.
Yeah,
Like, there's like so many just ways you can go with it, which is gross.
yeah, it's really cool. I think it's a really cool card.
Yeah.
It's a very very big build around, and I like build around cards because they create very weird dynamics.
Yeah,
For sure.
I definitely get behind that.
So, I mean, I think that's basically what we had to talk about today. Any last thoughts before we close out?
Just keep making cats, guys.
Just keep making cats. I mean, I'll keep trying to make something to beat the cats.
I'll
So
keep
I
jamming
can't
all the
I can't
kitties.
join the cats.
You don't have to join them.
I might join the drivers. I might go back to the drivers.
Well, I have drivers too. I make cats and they drive too.
Well, yeah. Do they drive like boats and stuff?
They drive boats and
Okay.
harvesters.
Okay. I rather just drive some hearts around.
That's no heart.
I don't have a heart. So thanks for joining today for A to Z. I'm Zane,
I'm Zach.
and join us next time as we talk about another sweet topic. Because you know what we talk about on here? It's only sweet topics because
So it's not gonna be another sweet topic because they're always sweet.
they're always sweet. I mean, this was sweet. The next one will be sweet. So
one after
please
that's
come
probably
back
be
and watch
sweet.
more. And we'll see you next time on A to Z.